we've got the recording going, and it's okay, don't worry, Ann. We're gonna start part 2 of our meal prep today. Part 1 was yesterday, part 2 is today, and we're just gonna finish up. So a lot of times if I don't have 2 solid hours, I will, okay, great. Will you go get my goggles, my ski goggles? Oh, hi. So a lot of times if I don't have time to prep everything in one shot, so 2 full hours or 2.5 hours sometimes, I'll do half on Saturday and half on Sunday, which is what we're doing today. And I must say, prepping with somebody else keeps it very efficient and keeps all the side munching to a minimum. So I really have enjoyed this. So thanks, Ann, for being on. All right, so we're gonna start with, if you haven't turned your oven on, if you're making the egg muffins today, go ahead and turn your oven on and get that warmed up. And we're gonna start with the turkey meatballs. So the turkey meatballs, what's gonna happen is we're gonna cook it today. We're gonna get them partly cooked, and then tomorrow morning, I'm gonna put mine in my slow cooker. I love it, Ange. I'm gonna put mine in my slow cooker, and then we're going to just cook those all day, and that'll be dinner tomorrow night, and then leftovers going forward. So I'm doubling the recipe. I'm doing 2 pounds of turkey meat because 1 pound will be just one meal, and then there's not many leftovers if all 4 of us are eating it. So I'm gonna do 2 pounds of turkey meat, which I already have in here, and it's somewhat broken up. There we are. And then next I'm gonna add in a little bit of Himalayan salt, a little bit of pepper. So just do it, you can put as much as you prefer. I'm not gonna put too much salt because I feel like it doesn't need that much. So there we go. Next up, I'm gonna add in the egg. So I'm gonna do 2 eggs again because I'm doubling the recipe, and you can beat it before or you can just mix it in. I feel like it mixes pretty well just all at once. So I'm just putting it straight in. And there we go. And I'm gonna do my second egg. Again, if you're only doing 1 serving, you don't need to do 2 eggs or 2 pounds, you just do 1. Let me rinse my hands and I'll be right back. All right, so we've got our eggs in, we've got our turkey, we've got our salt and our pepper. So I'm just gonna mix that up a little bit. And then I'm going to add in the rest of the ingredients. So these are really simple because it's just putting everything in a bowl, mixing it all together, rolling them into little meatballs, and then you can choose to either put them on the stovetop in a little bit of olive oil and brown each of the sides, or you can put them in the oven. I'm gonna put them in the oven just for sake of time and ease today, but you can just basically roll them, put them on the cookie sheet, and then put them in the oven, bake them on all sides for a little bit, and then they'll be ready to go into your slow cooker tomorrow. If you have them, okay, so next up I'm gonna put in fresh chopped onion and parsley, and if you wanna include the garlic, go for it. So I'm putting this in, that's okay. Putting that right in, there we go. Okay. What? Oh, that's hot. Okay, so I'm gonna mix them up a little bit more. So far we have our turkeys. Yes, you wanna mix? We have our turkey, our salt, our pepper, our egg, next up we're gonna put in our breadcrumbs. Now I like to do something different with breadcrumbs, and what I like to do is take my Ezekiel sprouted bread, in the background. So my Ezekiel sprouted bread, and I like to just put it in the Cuisinart instead of getting panko or, oh my gosh, at the store. That's an option. Obviously, you can get panko chips at the store. Or I like to get Ezekiel sprouted bread if I have it left over, and slowly somebody's making a Greek coffee here. I like to get that the Ezekiel sprouted bread, put it in the Cuisinart, and then I like to put it in here directly because I just like knowing that I'm having my sprouted bread rather than panko chips. But like I said, if you have panko chips at home, if you don't want to do that step, just go with it and use the panko chips. So this is just going to give it a little bit of the bready taste. So we're going to put in how many of those? Let's see. A half of the panko. So I'm going to put 1 full cup in. I don't know. We've got a trickster in the house today. There's some dinosaurs prepping with us. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 cup of Ezekiel sprouted. Will you hold that little thing so it doesn't come on? Yeah, perfect. Wow, it's so nice to have a helper. Okay, so we've got 1 cup of Ezekiel sprouted. Again, if you're only making 1 serving, do 1/2 cup, and that's going in. So we're gonna just mix that up a little bit more. And then I think we've got most of our ingredients here. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna keep mixing those. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll them out. And like I said, I'm gonna cook these in the oven for a little bit. You could also do it stovetop with olive oil and just brown each side really lightly. And then we'll put them in the slow cooker.
They have like meatballs I had.
Yeah, these are the ones you like. Yep. Okay, so now to save a step, you can do two things. You can either make your own tomato sauce if you have time, and there's a great fix-ate recipe for grandma's tomato sauce. I'm sure, Ange, you have a great one too. Or the other thing I like to do is find at the grocery store a really good tomato basil sauce that is very low in sodium and that is low in sugar. And I like to just dump it in the slow cooker in the morning. So to save yourself one step, if you don't have time to make the tomato sauce, just find one at the grocery store. There's a great one I found at Trader Joe's, and I'll have to remember the name of it. Will you go get one of the jars of the spaghetti sauce in the pantry, and we'll see if that's it. And you can just literally get these meatballs in the slow cooker in the morning, dump in the sauce, set it for 8 hours on low, and you're ready to go. Okay, so here we are. I think we're almost mixed. And I have done this before where I've put the raw meat right into the slow cooker.
Go get the spaghetti.
Well, that is spaghetti sauce. I mean, it's tomato sauce. The other thing you can do, if you're putting these in the morning and you don't want to cook them, you don't have to. You can put them right in raw. I do like, since they have raw eggs and raw turkey meat all mixed up, I like to just brown it a little bit to get that cooked part way and then put them in the morning. But again, if I'm making all of this first thing in the morning, I probably would skip the step of cooking them. I would put them in raw. Okay, so this is one of them that I really like. It's Cucina Antica, and I like it because it's lower in sodium. The calories are lower. It doesn't have any real added sugar to it. It's got, you know, sugar from the tomatoes, but that is it. So I really like the ingredients in this one. So that's the one I'm going to use. I'm going to dump this in the morning and then cook it in the slow cooker, and I'll be ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to put our cookie sheet out here, and we're going to roll them into little meatballs. Yep. I'm going to take off my rings, and do you want to help me roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. You can start doing meatballs. So, all right, what we're going to do, did you wash them first? Wash them first. Okay, so what we're going to do is just roll them into whatever size you like. If you are following containers, look at the recipe again just to make sure you're following the container count, but that is about the size I'm going to do them. So we're going to just roll them into little golf ball sizes, maybe a tiny bit bigger than golf balls. And they're pretty sticky, but it's okay. Just bear with it for a moment, and then you can go wash. All right, so rolling them is the next step. Putting them onto the cookie sheet. I'm going to just bake them lightly on each side. I'll just turn them once probably. And then, like I said, I'll put these into a container tonight. And then in the morning, I'll have the slow cooker out on the counter and ready to go. On a Monday, well, you don't have to. On a Monday morning, it'll be so nice to just plop these in. Okay, great. I'll see you in a second. It'll be so nice to pop these in and then know that your dinner is going to be ready when you come home. So for me, I usually like to eat my carbs for breakfast and lunch, and I don't eat a carb at dinner usually. So what I would do for this is tomorrow I bought zoodles, pre-made zoodles, and I'll put these right on top of the zoodles. Put a little bit of Parmesan cheese, which is, oh my goodness, is one thing I forgot to put in here. Okay. You know what? I'm going to leave those as is, and I'm going to put the Parmesan cheese right in here. But if you have Parmesan cheese, put it into the turkey meat, mix it up, and you can also put some on top. One sec while I wash my hands. Okay, so the Parmesan cheese in the meatballs, I think, gives it a really great taste. So I don't want to skip that step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 4 tablespoons. Again, I'm doubling it. So if you're not doubling it, just put 2 tablespoons. But I'm putting in 4 tablespoons directly into the turkey meat. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that is going to give it a little bit extra flavor. So I can't believe I forgot that step. That's one of my favorite parts. So, but again, tomorrow you can also cook some whole wheat pasta if you want to make it with whole wheat pasta. and you can top these off with the whole wheat pasta underneath, a little bit of sauce, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And my kids actually really enjoy these turkey meatballs. We all do, so this is kind of a family favorite. We have those that we rotate and we just make on a regular basis. And then we like to try a couple new things a week here and there too, if possible, just to mix it up a little bit. Okay, Parmesan cheese is mixed in. Now I'm gonna go for round 2 of rolling. And then again, tomorrow morning, pop them in and they'll be ready to go. Okay, while I'm rolling these, we are going to next make our egg muffins. So any vegetables you have in the fridge that you enjoy, if you have leftover taco meat, it's good in egg cups. If you have quinoa pre-made, even if it's not, you can put them in and it will cook in there too. But quinoa is great in egg cups. Feta cheese is delicious in egg cups. What else? I like to put spinach. I like to put cauliflower, broccoli. Whatever I have on hand pretty much is what goes in. Red peppers are really good, and you can top them with salsa. All right, there we go. So after we enjoy these for dinner tomorrow night, what I would do is, hi Jack. What I would do is, oh hi Luke. What I would do is for my lunch the next day and for the kids' lunch is one of these meatballs would go in their lunches. And then for mine, I would probably have them over zoodles again, or I would just have it, you know, as a side with vegetables. But this would act as my lunch, so that will be on Tuesday. And depending on how many are left, maybe Wednesday. It will also be lunch for probably for the hubs too. So whatever we have left over then goes into our prep for lunches. So for example, tomorrow night after we enjoy the turkey meatballs, or once they're cooked, I will then use the ones that we're not going to have for dinner, and I'll make lunches so those are prepped and ready to go as well. All right, almost finished here. Looks like they're getting bigger as I go because I'm tired of rolling already. Okay. Okay. I think we have a few left and then we'll be ready to go.
Oh, I only did one hand. Keep going.
All right. Okay, so after our egg cups, I'll show you how we make Shakeology pudding, because there's a lot of different ways you can enjoy your shake. It doesn't have to be in the form of a shake. That's my favorite way, especially in the summer, but sometimes in the colder months, it's hard to drink a cold shake. So a lot of times on those days, I will make a Shakeology pudding, which is obviously not cold with ice, but it's really, really good. So we'll do that last step and then we should be ready to go. And then also I'm encouraging everybody to roast your favorite vegetables and to prepare your favorite vegetable snacks. If you find yourself hungry, here's the steps that I like to suggest. First, drink water, so like 15, 16 ounces of water. If you're still hungry, have a serving of vegetable, and if you're still hungry, then you can reevaluate and see where you need to go next. But before just going for a snack or grabbing for something, try those steps first. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands and I'll be back. Good job, guys. All right, I'm just finishing washing the bowl because I'm going to use this for egg cups, and then I'll be back. Yeah.
Berries and stuff. I want to have like a bag of at least fruits just to be good for your brain. My brain is just fine.
Okay, guys, back at it. I'm going to put these in the oven, and I'm going to cook them just till they're brown. So I don't want to cook them all the way through, just till they're brown. And this is what they look like. Show you that right there. And smile. I think I got it. Okay, put these in the oven. And I'm just gonna let those cook for a little bit and then I will check on them, okay? So, Andrew, you baking yours too? Yeah, okay. All right, so next up, I'm gonna just move on to the egg cups. Are you good with that, or do you need anything else for the, okay. All right, I'm gonna move on to the egg cups. I know Angie made hers yesterday, so she is all set. Okay, egg cups. So first things first is what you need, oh, hold on. Fixing the hair and washing your hands. Okay, hands are washed, hair's better, and now we're gonna go on to the egg cups. So what we need to do for egg cups, if you know how many servings you want, so do you know how many portions you want to have? If you know that, then you're gonna do a little bit of math. So for example, if I wanna have 3 portions of egg cups, I know that in every one portion, it's 2 eggs for a red container, right? So if it's 2 eggs for a red container, then I know that I wanna just make enough for 2, 2, 2. So let's see, how many do I wanna have? I think we'll have, I think I'll do 6 portions. I'm sorry, 3 portions. No, I'll do 4 portions, so that's gonna be 8 eggs. Okay, so first step is to crack my eggs. So I'm gonna do 8 eggs. And again, I'm gonna put a lot of vegetables, so it's not gonna be just, it's not going to be, I'm doing, what did I say? I'm doing 4 portions, which is 8 eggs. There we go. But it's not gonna be just 8 egg cups, it'll be more than that. So I'll show you once we get there. Okay, so we've got 3 eggs so far. And I'm going to put, okay, we've got 5, 6, 7, and 8. And these are great on days that when Chris doesn't eat breakfast at home, if he wants to just take a couple egg, oh Emily, if he wants to take a couple egg cups with him on the road, this is a great breakfast because it's, you know, filling and nutritious. You've got your vegetables, you've got your protein. Okay, so I am going to now beat the eggs a bit here. And like I said, I've got 8 eggs in. That's going to be 4 portions. Okay, beating the eggs there. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so our eggs are well mixed now. And okay, yep. Okay, eggs are mixed. All right, there we go. Do you want to make yourself an egg though? No. Okay. All right, next up, I'm going to put some onions in. And these are just pre-chopped onions that I got at our local grocery store. So I'm actually dumping them all in. There we go. Onions are in. Okay. Next up, I am going to. No, because those are already cut. All right. So next up, I had some cauliflower that I had roasted yesterday, and it's just left over. Actually, I didn't roast it. I did air fryer. So I'm going to break these up into littler pieces, and then the cauliflower is just going to go right in. So like I said, I had roasted these in the air fryer. I had fried them, I guess. Air fried them yesterday. So I'm breaking those up. If they're bigger chunks, I'm just putting those straight in. Any sort of leftover vegetable, I'm telling you, is delicious in egg cups. So whatever you have on hand, whatever you like. If you want to make it like a Mexican style, you can do salsa and taco meat and green peppers. If you want to make a Greek style, you can do feta, Kalamata olives, spinach. So you can just decide what you want. And it's fun because you can put a lot of different spices in. So if you wanted to put dill in, dill's really good. You can put oregano. You can put whatever spices you prefer. So here we go. All of the rest of the cauliflower is going in. And there we go. Okay, next up, we're going to put in a little bit of spinach. And with the spinach, you can chop it up or you can put it in as is. I'm going to just kind of break it up as I go, just kill one step of extra chopping. If I had more time and in the sake of keeping you guys on here longer, I would chop it up a little bit, but for the most part, I'm just going to break it up and make sure it's pretty well broken up. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want to put feta cheese in or if I want to put Parmesan cheese in. And both are really good. Just kind of depends on what taste you want. Again, I love to put Kalamata olives when I put feta too. I think I might switch it up, and I think I might just actually do some Parmesan cheese this time. So breaking up my spinach, and then I'll add in the Parmesan cheese. And one thing that I have learned from doing egg cups is get rid of the metal muffin tin when you're doing egg cups, because washing that thing after egg cups, no matter how much you spray it, is a nightmare. So silicone works much better with egg cups. Okay, now I'm going to show you a trick here with the Parmesan cheese. So we are doing 8 eggs, right? I did 8 eggs, which means it's 4 portions. So if I wanted to do a full blue in each portion, I would do 4 of these guys of Parmesan cheese in. However, I'm going to do a half of a blue in each one. So I'm just going to fill this twice. So when I'm eating these, I'm going to remember that I'm having, if I'm having 2, for example, or however many it is for 2 eggs worth, I'm having a half of a blue with each of these. So if I'm counting my containers, I'm going to count, I would probably not even count a full half of a green. I would count it as a 1/4 of a green, 1 red, and a half of a blue. And I will show you again how I got to that. But here's 1 blue. Again, I have 4 portions, so if I was doing a full blue, I'd put 4 portions in, but I'm doing a half of a blue. So I'm doing 2 Parmesan cheese portions, and that is it. Okay, I'm going to mix that up. All right, mixing this up. So Sophia Yaya wants to know if you want to go on a walk, or anybody, Cristoforo, anyone. Oh, okay, see if Cristoforo wants to ride his bike.
Do you want to ride your bike with me, yeah?
Okay, guys, this is real life on a Sunday. Here we go. Okay, so now this is what it looks like. If you can see that, it's just all mixed up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour it right in to the container. But rule of thumb, make sure you put a cookie sheet under, or it won't make it without spilling to the oven. Okay, so cookie sheet is going under. In the meantime, I'm going to run and check on the turkey meatballs, make sure that they're doing okay. Yep, they're looking good.
In basketball, you backpedal too. Like you don't eat right away.
So next up, I'm going to just, I'm going to get a little scoop, I think, rather than just pouring it in. And I'm going to scoop in. The spinach is kind of big. I probably should have chopped it a little more, but that's okay. It will do. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to equally fill these cups so that they are pretty much filled to the top, because I want to make sure that it's equal portions. And they will puff up because they are eggs, so they'll get a little bit bigger when they're cooking. Again, it's 8 eggs, so I'm going to see how much we get here. Okay. All right, so just fill in the cups. And oh, one step I did before, I pre-greased these with olive oil spray so that they easily come out. Okay, so I'm going to put this away and just finish the rest by dumping them in. Again, the spinach is probably way too big. I would definitely chop it smaller in the future. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to fill that one a little bit more because I want them, again, I want them to be pretty equal so I know how much my portion is. Okay. Pretty much all in there. Okay, so let me tell you what I have. I have 2, 4, 6. Oh, perfect. So actually this is going to work out to be 2 muffins per portion. So 2 muffins equals 1 red, a half of a blue, and I would say a 1/4 of a green. So again, you want to make sure that you portion them out so that when you're eating them, so what I'll do is I'll put them in separate containers and I'll do 2 in each container. So I know that when I pull it out, that's my 1 red, my fourth of a green, and my 1/2 of a blue. And that's it. Okay? Can you see those? I don't want to tip it because they'll probably spill out. But there we go. Those are our egg cups. All right, next up, those are going to go in, and I like to cook them about, I have fun, about 25 to 30 minutes before I do my first toothpick test, and then I will, usually they need longer than that, but I just like to give them a test at the beginning, and if they need more, they can take up to 45 minutes if they're really big. So again, just do the test and see how it looks. I'm just making these a little bit more even, and it should be ready to go. Most of the time I get a lot more, and I'll have 3 per portion, but this time with what we put in, it was 2 per portion. So there we go. Okay, so those are ready to go in the oven. Once I finish with the meatballs, I'll do those. And it looks like you're roasting sweet potatoes or doing something with sweet potatoes.
Yeah, I got sweet potatoes and yellow squash that I'm gonna roast.
And I love sweet potatoes in the morning with my eggs and spinach. You can do sweet potatoes pretty much any time. I love to have those on hand too.
What do you season them? Oh, Louie.
What do I season them? It's okay. I don't season them with much. I will spray a little olive oil on sometimes, or if I'm having them more, yes. If I'm having them more as a treat, I'll do cinnamon and maybe drizzle a tiny bit of honey on top.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's there. You can
There's
turn.
Sophia again. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Sophia. Hi, I'm going to look at a building now.
You are?
With her dad. Doesn't that sound fun?
That sounds awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna get everything ready for the pudding, and then we'll be ready to go for that. 1 minute here. One second, I'll be right back for pudding. Okay, I'm just going to, I'm saving the rest of my breadcrumbs from the Cuisinart. And then I'm gonna rinse the Cuisinart and we'll be ready to go. Okay, I'm gonna try this in the Cuisinart this time. Usually I do a blender, but I'm just gonna see if it might be a little bit easier to scrape things down. So this is our Shakeology pudding, and this is, again, a great alternative to having a shake, like a cold shake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get out my almond milk. Okay, so I'm gonna get out my almond milk. Sophia, can you grab me a pumpkin puree out of the pantry, please? You're gonna need almond milk, pumpkin puree, and your shake, and that's it, and maybe a little bit of cinnamon too. Okay, I'll come and get it. Okay, be right back. Okay, here I come. And the meatballs are looking really good, actually. They are looking really good. I think I might give them 1 more minute and then I'll take those out. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to make my pudding. And one serving calls for 1/2 of a cup of almond milk, 1/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree, and 1 scoop of Shakeology. I am doubling it because when you double it, it is so much easier to make it in the Cuisinart. If you only have 1 serving, it's really hard to do it. So there's 1 full cup of almond milk, and next up I'm gonna get my pumpkin puree. And then the last step of my prepping will happen tonight when we actually are making our flank steak tacos. What I'll do is I'll probably cook a couple other things on the grill and then have those for the rest of the week. So I will be sure to tell you about that part. But for the pudding, I'm gonna put my 1/2 of a cup of pumpkin puree, so that's 1/4 of a cup, so I'm putting 2 in. And this is actually what makes it really, the consistency great. Okay, so that's going in the Cuisinart. Okay, we are now ready for our Shakeology. So I love pumpkin Shakeology or pumpkin pudding. Now I have leftover pumpkin Shakeology from when they did that special last fall. However, it's a limited edition and most people don't have pumpkin. But if you don't have pumpkin, it's okay because you can still use vanilla with this and it'll still taste delicious. But what I like to do until I'm out of my pumpkin, and by the way, I've heard that they are doing another special edition this fall, and it could be like a peppermint mocha. I don't know. That's just hearsay, but we'll see. So what I'm doing is I'm putting in 1 pumpkin, and then the other thing I like to put in is 1 scoop of vanilla, and that is going to make for a really yummy, there we go. Okay, so 1 scoop of vanilla, 1 scoop of pumpkin. If you don't have pumpkin, it's okay, just use vanilla. You can do chocolate, you can do chocolate orange. I love chocolate orange, and I actually put in either a little bit of orange peel or a little bit of orange. You can put in the ingestible essential oils, like a drop of orange, and it's really, really good. Okay, oops, I forgot the top. I'm gonna just cover it here and go for it. So now I'm gonna just pulse this until it gets kind of thick. And what happens is you can leave this in the fridge for up to an hour or even overnight. Obviously, I'm not going to have both of these in one sitting. And then the consistency gets really thick and delicious. And you know what? This is a lot easier than in the blender. So I'm actually glad that I tried it this way. Okay, and that's it. And that's your pudding, guys. And my kids actually like this too. So if you're giving it to your kids, I would split it in half. So this is 2 servings. So I would do, you know, a half of a serving of 1 bowl because you only want them to have a half unless they're older than 12. Okay, so next up, I'm going to get my little bowls here. And the key to this part now is making them all even. Okay, so now we're going to put them into our bowls, make them even, and that's 2 portions, right? Because we did 1 scoop in each one. Again, if I'm giving them to the kids, this could be 4 portions. And it's really a lot. It doesn't seem like you're going to have much, but it's very satisfying. If you wanted to save your protein, your red, for the end of the day, for example, you could have this as dessert, and I promise you it feels like you're having a really good treat. And that's all, you guys. It's so easy to make Shakeology in different ways. This is one of them. So I hope you try it and enjoy it. Okay, so we are almost wrapping up day 2 of meal prep. And what does my week look like now? So we're gonna have a little bit of extra flank steak left over tonight. So that will either act as something for the kids. They love steak for dinner, so maybe that will be a leftovers tomorrow. I will be having turkey meatballs. Actually, we'll all be having turkey meatballs for dinner tomorrow night, but the next day or 2 after, I will have extra turkey meatballs, so that'll act as my protein probably at lunch. Sometimes with dinner, I just like to have a big salad and have my shake as my protein. Just depends on the day and what I'm cooking for everybody else too. But I will map out the rest of the week and I'll show you guys what I'm gonna make my week look like so that you can do the same. The other thing I really like to do is have hard-boiled eggs on hand. So if you have time to just hard boil a few eggs and have those on hand, that can act as a protein. If you are on plan B and you want a snack to be, you know, one of your reds, for example, then 2 eggs hard boiled with, you know, some fruit or some vegetables makes for a great snack. Okay, that's what it looks like. Can you see that? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little pumpkin pie spice on top or a little cinnamon. I'll probably do cinnamon. So I'm gonna just put a little cinnamon on top. You can also do a dab of Greek yogurt when you're ready to enjoy these, like a dollop on top, and it looks like whipped cream and it's delicious. So there we go. Okay, so one of my shakes is ready. I might have one today, and then I might have one the next day. That's what it looks like. That's ready to go in the fridge. I would just keep those in the fridge as long as you want and before you enjoy them. I usually don't like to let them go more than 2 or 3 days. They're probably fine, but I just think that, you know, consuming them those first 2 days is, they taste better. So, okay guys, that is day 2. I will be back. Bye, Ange. I'll be back with more. Have a good day.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Thanks for joining. I'll be back with a few more tips, and I will also show what my fridge looks like, and just show a few other things with meal prepping and what it actually looks like and how now I put all of this together. Now that we've done everything, what is it going to look like and what will, I'm going to just record that for a second here so that people, okay, there we go. So there we go. Okay, so just to recap, yesterday we made a few things to get ready. So I did part 1 of meal prep yesterday. We did our muffins, which were delicious, by the way. I have not tried those before and they were so good. We did our Wonder Whips, our oatmeal jars. We did our cookie dough bites yesterday, and that's it. Today, what we've covered is our egg muffins, our turkey meatballs, and our pudding. So here we go. Pudding is gonna go in the fridge and be ready to go for tomorrow. And that's it. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday. We roasted vegetables too. Be sure to, whenever you're making a meal, so for example, if you're doing Sunday dinner, roast some extra vegetables, put some extra sweet potatoes on the grill. Do some things that you can do in one full shoot, and then it will then carry over into your meal prep for the week. I hope everyone has a wonderful Sunday, and I will see you later. Bye.